I just like good dunks.
Yeah.
Actually pretty easy.
All right, here on the association, you know, we're towards the end of the regular season. We start thinking about some of the awards. We had our conversation a little bit earlier on the show about Rookie of the Year. Most improved, though, is next on the docket of conversation. I will let you kick things off. Who is the most improved player in the NBA?
This one right here, I'm 98, 99% sure this is where I'm going to vote.
Okay.
I'm going with Nickeil Alexander in Atlanta. That guy is playing phenomenal basketball. I knew with Minnesota, I knew they had high hopes for Nah before he emerged into the talent that he was. I know that they wanted to keep him, but they were hamstrung with the salary cap, and so he had to get away. But I didn't know he had this type of potential. He is arguably, you can say, one of their most consistent scorers. He's one of their better playmakers, along with Jalen Johnson. He hits tough baskets after tough baskets. He's a clutch guy. He has been everything and more for those Atlanta Hawks. I didn't know he had this in him. So that is my most improved player. Well-deserved. Nah, you the real deal, man. Well-deserved.
Well, me on the other end, I did know he had this. I played with him in Utah, and this is a common case of just waiting till your turn. I find the right spot. He had two other stints in other teams before we have this here. But one thing I knew about him, and I knew one reason I knew he was going to be good in this league is because he's persistent, came in every day, same time, had a regiment. He just wanted to be great. Now, you know, to see him from the beginning, he's played for a couple teams, and now to see him have the success, man, he deserves every bit of it. That's my most improved player as well.
I think the national conversation centers around him, and it makes sense. I mean, you look at some of these numbers and just the big jump. A lot of times, and I don't know if you characterize it this way when you're going through your ballot, Chris, but sometimes you just look at the stats and that just tells you a pretty significant story. Points per game for Alexander-Walker has been there. I'll throw out some other names because I think obviously he's the favorite and should win this award. Jalen Johnson's name certainly comes to mind. I think from a numbers standpoint, harder to make a case, but just the impact on the game, fingerprints on a lot of these wins, thinking about where Atlanta is, he's a big reason why. I feel like every time we do a highlight, Ryan Rollins' name continues to pop up, like just to kind of name check him. Danny Avdia, though, is another name where I think you saw sort of like this growth this season, 24, 7, and 7. So it's actually 7 points better about from what we saw last year. And I know, Chris, you spent a lot of time covering this Blazers team. I know you're close to people in that organization. They have to be thrilled that there is a building block as you move forward here and trying to figure out, hey, what's this team going to look like? He's the centerpiece.
No? Damian Lillard is the centerpiece.
He's
okay.
He has a point there.
So, fair. Forgot because he hasn't been out on the floor. forgot about the three-point contest around there. So
you forgot that he's there?
Haven't seen him even playing this year. So
I get you. Dame would have got on me if I did.
Fair. I apologize to all the Blazers fans that are out there.
No, but to your point, this is a team kind of like Boston that nobody thought they would have this kind of success. You know, obviously adding Drew Holiday helps a lot because he's a winner. But, you know, Danny Avdia is having a great season.
Totally.
Don't get me wrong. And that's going to be a good running mate for Dame Lillard.
Yeah. The centerpiece of, yes. So, you know, normally the corrections I don't always agree. That one is more than fair. Look, the guy's not out there, though. I mean, that just says so.
Out of sight, out of mind. Like, you know, one thing I have a problem with when it comes with, not you.
Oh, I felt like more heat coming my way.
I'm not coming at you. I have a problem with this award, and it was about 4 or 5 years ago when Julius Randle won Most Improved Award.
Yeah.
I voted for Jeremy Grant, who was playing with Detroit, and he went from like averaging 8 the season before to averaging 20. Okay. Julius Randle won the award with the Knicks, averaging 24 that season, but the year prior he averaged 20. To me, obviously the Knicks had a really good season. It was probably unexpected, but once you average 20, to me, I feel like you're good. If you can average 20, you can average 23, you can average 24, 25, you've made it. But Jeremy Grant or other guys who go from averaging 7 to 19 to 20, that's a big jump. That's most improved. I felt like Randall already showcased that he was a guy to be a real force in this league. So
I agree.
You know, so that kind of like I didn't get that. Again, no shade, not taking anything away from Julius Randle. I just always believed in you. So I didn't think it was Most Improved award. I didn't think he belonged in that category, but he won. And so different voters vote different ways. They look at things differently. Are you in agreement with me, or do you feel?
No, I agree. I think this award should go to the person that takes the most advantage of the opportunity. You know, not necessarily just for your team to have more success, but you doing a little bit more of the same thing. Mm-hmm. It should be a guy that we didn't expect to have this kind of a year, to be able to put him up there and celebrate the kind of success he's had. So I agree with you, man. I think that year Jeremy Grant should win. I think Nickeil is a perfect candidate.
Yeah.
I think he's a perfect candidate. I don't think there's any debate about that. Although, you know, we have Ivy, your guy. You also have.
But now you mentioned Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, but like,
and I would dismiss that as well, because he was playing at the All-Star level last season before the injury. And so I expect him to do what he's doing. Now, has he stepped it up a little bit more? Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
But once you reach that caliber of play where, okay, all right.
I do think those awards and people that qualify for those awards, it kind of starts at this time. You know, especially those most improved, all that stuff. Like, I think it starts, even All-Star for younger guys, I think it starts the end of the year before. Because now you have people's eyes, and next year you go in with that kind of success, and you grow and build your game to another level.
Definitely.
Then you have in people's eyes.
In the spirit of what the award is, it makes sense what you're describing. Because I think, look, there's Rookie of the Year, there's MVP. Like, those are, I think it makes a lot of sense for the NBA to say, hey, let's honor some guys that don't get a ton of attention, that aren't Joker, that aren't Wemby. And I think this, case in point, by the way, like, I think you guys are right. Like, Alexander Walker's going to win this award.
Yeah.
I do think it's important to name check some of those guys. And you're right, Jalen Johnson's, you look at the numbers, what is it, 20 to 25, 26, whatever he is now. It's not a huge jump, but I do think the impact is there. But you're right, like, I just giving him some credit. Jalen Duren's name, I don't know if I said his, but.
Duren, no, that's one. No, that's a good one.
It's another one that you can kind of throw into the mix. But I think it's pretty clear right now, the favorite, and I think you said you're about 98% sure.
Probably, 90%. But you threw Duren in right. I got to go back.
do the notes. So, you know, you should also not have to worry about going back to the roster on NBA.com for the Blazers, and just make sure and double check, you know, everyone that's out there.
Make sure, man. You know.
No. That Dame Lillard guy's pretty good. So. Last time I checked, so you don't miss a whole lot. All right, we got more of the association here on NBA TV. There's 10 games that are on the slate. We'll continue to get you some highlights and do some live look-ins. That's still to come.